I hit it. Hey, there's Jody, Mike. Hey guys.
I don't even see the video up here yet. You actually got the video showing?
Yeah, it says it's, well, Streamlabs says it's going.
Oh, here it is. I see one says set reminder. Okay.
What does that mean, set reminder?
Well, that's before it goes live. Above and beyond drones, life threatened after drone. No, this is one of your older videos. So here it is. It's got to be this one here. Tuesday night. 3 watching. Started streaming. I guess we are live. Hi guys. Yeah, I see Jody in there. Yeah, we're live. There we are. Mike, Kitty. How you doing? You and me. That's it.
I don't know. I've been getting a lot of buzzes on the phone. Maybe people are going to watch that.
Well, it doesn't matter. We can. We got an hour at least before that starts. I
have been. You know, for you, it's like analog to digital. Going from analog to digital. That's what HDR is for me, and trying to learn it.
Yeah. And
you have to go all the way back to the color spaces. Like, what does that even mean?
That's not my. That's. I don't delve too deeply into that. That's not a real area that I'm interested in. The kind of videos that I do are for YouTube. So, as far as I'm concerned, if it I just look at it and I say, well, that looks close to real. You know, it looks like it should look, and I'm happy with it. Now, if I was running a professional photography operation and had a color lab and all that other stuff, there's so many different protocols. You call them color spaces, rec this, rec that. That are designed, I think, to make certain devices fairly true, you know,
yeah,
correct for certain propensities in certain monitors and certain cameras to emphasize or overemphasize certain colors. They correct. I think they're designed to correct all that. But as far as trying to find the one universal color space, it's going to look perfect on everybody's device, and no matter what camera they shoot it in, I don't think that's the purpose of color spaces, which is why you create LUTs.
You know, the original color space was made up in 1931.
I didn't know that, but it's possible. Hey, Al Diaz is here, and Peter Carroll, Tomas, how you doing, guys? Mike B. How are you? Yeah,
the Drone Ranger. I love that Drone Ranger.
Yeah, AKA the Drone Ranger. Ah, cool.
Mr. Peter Carroll.
Yeah, Peter's here.
They have come out already. It came out in 2017. You're just not going to get it until the new NVIDIA Ampere cards, the 3000 series, come out. HDMI 2.1.
Yeah.
Which will handle a boatload of signal. And basically what you and I were just talking about, me trying to render it on one TV to how you're going to see it on your TV, smartphone, Apple iPad, at this point is damn near ridiculous with just using the standard right now, Rec 2020. And PQ, all PQ means is perceptual quality.
Well, these things weren't designed with what we're doing in mind. They were designed, for example.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
You're absolutely right. They were designed for NTSC.
Well, what they were designed for was operations like the motion picture industry. for example, they know the film they're using. They know how it's going to respond with the lenses and filters they use, to the lighting, the color, the light, the white balance of the lighting they're using, to the even and as far as what happens to it in processing, and then ultimately what happens to it when it's projected in a theater. And everything affects what you see on the screen, even the color, temperature of the light bulb in the projector. So they try to come up with color standards to make sure that from the beginning of this particular chain to the end, they have a predictable output.
That you are more correct than you know, sir, because DCI P3, Digital Cinema Initiative, P3 is a projector standard for movie theaters.
But that's where it's important. That's where it makes a lot of difference. You don't want to go into, pay $20 to take your family to a movie and then watch the thing with horrible color, all blown out or washed out, But for us to try to do that with the myriad of different cameras that we have, the way our monitors are calibrated, you could have perfect color starting out, and if you're looking at it, you're editing it on a monitor where the color balance is out of whack, you'll edit to that, and then your final result will just be all screwed up on everything else. So for me, it's too much work. If I had a real need for it, if I had a client at the other end that would say, man, that the color balance on that last video we got from you was terrible, then I'd have to worry about it.
And that is what I am. Well, now I won't say struggling through that. That's what I'm trying to look at now. Trying to understand, going back to school, as it were, as you did with all the FPV stuff you've been doing. Like 709 is purely for HD. That was the code that came out for HD.
That's pretty much 8-bit color, correct?
Yes. And when you move into our 10-bit color space of, say, your Mavic 2 Pro, which is 10-bit, by the way, is the lowest for Rec 2020. It goes up from there. So, okay, we say, what would a Mavic 3 have? Okay, well, there goes my wish list. I want to go up to at least 12 bits.
But will you really notice the difference, other than the fact that you're going to have bigger files and more complicated processing and editing?
You can see the difference. It's like depth of field. It's so good when you get the colors right. But here's the thing. They've been producing these damn HD TVs since, what, 2016?
Yeah, late.
Mine is from 2018.
Yeah.
And at best, when you're looking at your ratings.com, and they actually go through all the specs, at best, mine will put out 902 nits. The actual color standards go up to 10,000 nits. So when you get into Dolby Vision, wow. I mean, HDR10 and Dolby Vision are dynamic metadata. They're constantly telling the TV which pixel to light up per frame.
Yeah.
Per frame. HDR10 is just static metadata. It dumps a file and tells the TV, play this movie at such and such color. Leaves it at that. So HDR10 is like the base, the bottom of the basement. When you get into these other ones, it's very interesting. I find it interesting anyway. And then that D65, of course, is all based on Kelvin. You know, how bright is it outside?
Yeah.
It's really not as horrifying as I thought. This is just one of them that I thought was interesting. And some of them explain it in the way we talk, while others...
What are you looking at there? What's the source of that screenshot?
This is Richard Lackey. He's a colorist.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll show his name. Yeah, Richard Lackey at the top there.
Well, I just do it just kind of down and dirty. You know what I mean? I don't spend a lot of time on color grading, even though I have all the tools and scopes and all that stuff. I shoot with when I shoot with my drones. I just throw everything in auto, and it seems to come out with an image that is not bad looking at all. And then when I go into the editor, sometimes I might go into color grading and fool with the exposure a little bit. If the highlights are blown out, I'll fool with them. But not much. But very rarely do I actually do anything with the colors themselves. Usually it's just the overall look of the image. I don't try to shoot for any fancy teal and orange look like some of these guys do, you know, applying some of these wild LUTs but the movie industry has a tremendous use for these kind of things, especially.
Well, that's what SMTPE is, Society of Motion Picture Engineers.
But for example, you go to a movie, and let's take a movie like The Martian. Okay, remember The Martian?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Okay, the whole movie had an orange cast to it, and that orange cast was applied by LUTs that they developed to make everything have an orange cast, because that makes you feel like Mars. Okay, when they did the scenes that weren't on Mars, the orange cast went away. They used a different LUT for those scenes. There are movies that I've seen, like the DC Comics movies. When you watch any of the Batman or any of those movies, you'll see them use wild LUTs. They'll be blue, just overall blue cast to some of the scenes, or the colors, like in the Joker, will be just blown out wild so that everything looks almost cartoonish.
Yeah, the Joker was very dark, had a very dark.
But they do that on purpose, and they do it with LUTs developed to create this mood, and a lot of times it's done with these colors, like a bluish cast over on the dark city scenes, you know, and it just makes it feel foreboding, I guess. So I think that, you know, if I was producing videos where I was trying to create that kind of an emotional response, I might be fooled with color, but that's not what I do. So I'm not an expert with that, Jim, and I can't really help you.
Tomas, it's impossible to tell on a crap TV. And here's the thing. We're watching on YouTube, which took your 10-bit compressed video, lossy compression is what we're using, and they compressed it more to their VP9 standard. And even when you color in Rec 2020, you've got to use the PQ and the EOTF, which is electro-optical transfer function. All it is, nothing big. It ain't rocket science. They try and make it seem like that, but it isn't. So when you're changing your color to Rec 2020 on your 10-bit video, you're uploading at Rec 2100, because this is your EOTF PQ, perceived quality, and then the EOTF is 2084, Society of Motion Picture Technology Engineers, ST 2084. And you see right there, it officially defines the perceptual quantizer of the nonlinear EOTF curve. You get to set the curve of the colors. It's fun and interesting when you start playing with it. But the difference, like I said before, between HDR10 is just static, sending one static data. Here, play this motion picture at this color level, to getting to Dolby and HDR10, which aren't even the latest. There's newer ones coming out.
Yeah, how do you keep up with it? Hi, Dre, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, Mitch. Now, I'm jumping in late in the conversation, but I like you talking about the certain movies you're mentioning. I know The Matrix is one that did the green tint.
Yeah, the green tint. Yeah,
and most of those are all done in post work.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you shot in, they shot it in, and then in post work, they added this LUTs, whatever you want to call it, color grading after effect to give you that emotional or that post-apocalyptic, twist on what type of movie it might have been, effect.
We all expect Mars to be orange.
Yeah.
So they put it in orange.
In brownish orange. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way they do it. And again, I don't have it. I don't have the need to do it. Life is complicated enough with the stuff I'm trying to learn. So
Right.
I leave that to you. And I wanted to ask you, Jim, have you figured out why that HDR video that you put up there ended up being so blown out like it was?
Yes.
That's what I'm curious of. What was the point in the path between you and the final YouTube product that caused that?
To put it simply, I have to dumb it down. My computer monitor is at best going to put out 300 nits of color per pixel, blah, blah, blah. That's what you got to find. The happy sweet spot. Basically, there's displays that are actually calibrated through VESA, VESA, to display HDR 1000, display HDR 600, and 400. You have to calibrate to the audience's expected luminant quality. And today, that's about, I'd say, 500 nits on a good 4K HD TV, HDR TV.
Well, and not only that, but keep in mind that not everybody runs their TV blast and bright. You're usually sitting in a semi-dark room watching it, and
that could also kill the color.
Yeah, you're not going to want
to. It's much better on a full array local dimming, full array local dimming. And there's zones. If you look at Ansel Adams, if you're a photographer, you already know this crap. It's so old. He's got like 20 different zones of the TV screen you're looking at, and there's colors. That's why these guys use 18% gray cards when they start out shooting. They actually put it in front of the camera and all that.
Well, I have the gray cards. I have a set of them, and I use them sometimes. I'll hold up in front of the drone or something, and what that does is in Premiere Pro in post production, it just allows you to set the white balance with one click, because you take the white balance eyedropper, you put it on the gray card in your video, and it calibrates the entire thing from there on out to that 18% gray card. It works fabulous. It works great. You
do that in DaVinci with a color picker.
Yeah.
These guys, wait a minute. These guys don't eat. They call it a tack. They don't even know what the old medicines. Remember the tinctures we used to have as kids? The iodine and all that your mom used to put on your cuts. They don't even know what the dropper is. I saw guys calling it a tack and things like that.
It's an eyedropper. Yeah, that's a handy tool. In fact, I do a lot of graphics work. I design a lot of brochures and logos and things like that. And the handiest tool that I have is a little program, and it's called Color Cap, COLORCAP. And what Color Cap does, here let me this is the greatest. Let me share my screen with here. All right, let me share this, and I want to share this screen here. Okay, so what I've got.
Okay.
Go ahead and share that. Okay, I've got right over here. See where the mouse is moving around?
Yeah.
That program opens up a little window. Okay, so if I need to duplicate this color blue right here, I just go over here and I grab this little eyedropper and I bring it over here to the blue and I let it go. And over here I have all of the specs for that color, the hex code, the red, green, blue breakout, and everything like that. And then I just take and copy this, the little breakout there, into the color thing in whatever program, Photoshop or whatever, and I have exactly that color. If I take that little eyedropper and move it over here to your face, there's the color. There's the color of your face that I grabbed right off the monitor. And it's a free program. It's called Color Cap, COLORCAP. It's the handiest damn tool you've ever seen.
Oh, excuse me. That's fun and all that, but also when you get to your own color. Now, right now, I've got the video card changing my colors. So it takes over from, if you right click on your screen, it's going to say personalized display or display settings or whatever that is. But you can go into these and see this computer is automatically set up for sRGB 61966. Well, you can change that depending on what you're working in. If you don't have, let's say, a monitor that's going to calibrate your Windows 10 for you. No, you see it says calibrate display right there.
Yeah, they have routines built in to calibrate, but a lot of them rely on subjective, does it, do the flesh tones look right? Yes or no kind of thing.
And that's the problem, because you got to make sure that you shut this crap off. So you don't want Windows applying its WCS, Windows Color System. You see Windows HD color settings.
Well, that's one of the problems, is there's so many places that you can actually adjust these colors, or the gamma, or any of the other crap that has to do with it. And what's the standard? And what's to say that whoever the end viewer is using a device that's going to reproduce these colors anywhere close to what you put out?
That's why you have to dumb it down, because if they're at, I've got other stuff running, so it's not going to run. If you've got, like that last video I put up, it was a test HDR video. Yeah. It was blown out. It looked great in DaVinci Resolve, but it was blown out on everything I looked at it on. Whether it was my computer, whether it was this HDR TV, because this TV only does 314 nits. I didn't know that when I bought it, but it was a $250 TV. What do I care? So you have to color to the lowest spectrum right now until we get to, I guess, about what, 2022, when everybody finally buys 4K HDR TVs with automatic local dimming and all that on them. Because by then, 4K TVs will be close to nothing in cost, because they'll be shoving 8K TVs down your throat.
But the majority of people who watch YouTube stuff don't watch it on a TV. They watch it on a mobile device or a computer. And the mobile devices are famous for over blowing out colors. Everything on your, or the colors on your cell phone are always rich and vibrant, even when, the screens are always greener and redder. That's not natural.
Mm-hmm. I found out that my Note 9 will only go up to 1440p. I'm not even sure if it'll handle HDR at all. I haven't been able to get it to pop up.
Yeah, most of your small devices, handheld devices, tablets, cell phones, the screen itself, it won't be able to handle HDR. I don't think it's just too much. I mean, they got the OLED screens, which might be the only thing that might help it. That they come on the newer phones.
The OLEDs are better than the LEDs or LCDs. The LCD TVs are actually LED backlit, which is a helping hand when it comes to the full array local dimming. But I'll tell you something I wanted to show you that's laughable, is that when people watch a YouTube video, now I don't even care whose YouTube video it is. I'm putting this one up. Show you that's laughable. Oh, shut up. Is that when people Let me kill the volume. People never hit the damn three dots. See the three dots over there to make the picture any better. So let me see what this thing defaults at.
I do.
See, it's defaulted to 720p right now.
You're talking about raising the resolution. You got to have the bandwidth too to on your mobile device. And if you're out using your cellular data, a lot of people don't want to bring it in the lowest resolution where it looks halfway decent, so they don't scream up their data caps.
Which again, it's
higher resolution, the more data it chews up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And Jim, to save you a whole bunch of time in the future, it's all perspective. every last bit of it is perspective. If you think it looks good, other people are going to think it looks good. So you can do all the grading that you want. I actually did a test with a lot of the real estate agents that I do work for. I'd put LUTs, I'd do this, I'd do that, do all kinds of stuff and send it off to them. And it didn't matter what I sent them. They all thought it looked spectacular. So it all comes down to each individual. So if you think it looks good, everybody else is going to think it looks good, which is the best advice I can give to anybody that's trying to do any kind of color grading. Because no matter what preset on the camera you go with, whatever program you use to edit and grade, if you think it looks good, everybody else will too. Not everybody, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, most of them. And to try and figure out, that is the wildest question to put into Google, because I've tried to put it in 75 different ways. What is the average nit output, or CDM2 squared, pixel brightness per meter? It's basically, but I don't know why they even use that analogy for candela. Remember that, Mitch?
Yeah.
I wanted to say candles or whatever. But you can't get a definitive answer as to, hey, between the 5 major TV manufacturers, the rest are screw. ONN is Walmart's personal brand that they buy from LG and just put ONN on it, that kind of thing. What's out there? You can't get an answer as to what we're all actually watching this at a brightness of. And like I said, this one's 300, the other one. And that's another thing that drives me nuts. When you look at the ratings, they'll tell you per 10%, per 25% of the screen. When does that come in handy? I can't figure that out for the life of me.
If you want to check out a YouTube channel that has some of the most brilliant looking 4K scenic videos with music, it's called Lounge 5, LOUNGEV.
What is that?
It's a YouTube channel, and they make these hour and 2 hour long or live streaming scenic 4K videos, Caribbean beaches, jungles, and they have, music. That's all it is. It's just nonstop, morning, all the time. And the photography and the coloring in those things is spectacular. So you take a look at that and see if you can't figure out how they're doing what they do, or what they're doing. Whatever they're doing it right.
I don't know how, but YouTube has 8K videos on here.
Yeah, isn't that absurd?
Must be their friends, because you can't put up an 8K video. But
Hey,
they have. How the hell are you going to watch that?
I don't know. Well, you're going to watch it in 720p or 360p and not realize you're look, first of all, if you're watching it on a standard high definition television, I don't care what, it's going to be downsampled to 1080p or 720 or whatever you're watching it on. But interestingly enough, I have a TV antenna outside, and I have a 4K TV, and some of the local channels come in 720p, and some of the local channels come in 1080p over the antenna. And between you and me, unless I look, I can't tell which ones are 720p. When I'm sitting 20 feet away from the TV like I do, drinking coffee in the morning, I couldn't tell you whether I'm watching it looks like high definition. It's on a 4K TV, but I'm only looking at a 720p signal. So how important is it really? I think that the 8K and 4K is actually more important for us because we can zoom in on it in post and still maintain the high definition. That's the most important part of it. As far as how much better it's going to look, unless you're sitting 3 feet away from an 8K TV, you're not going to notice. I don't think you're going to notice the difference.
You can get so close that you're sitting. Each manufacturer has an actual specification. You should be 4 to 6 feet back from it, blah, blah, blah. Some are 12 feet back, depending on its brightness and quality, of course. They'll tell you in the manual. But, If you get too close to a 4K TV, you're going to see the pixels.
Yeah, you'll see the pixels. But you and I are using these 4K TVs for editing now, and in that case, we're using them like a big computer screen. So you're sitting 2-3 feet away from it.
Even the 32-inch monitor I was looking at, which is just the the PD 2700, I was looking at, Dre, from BenQ, 539. Everybody swears it's a good reference monitor. It's not calibrated per VESA, but reference monitor for doing what Mitch does, the Illustrator stuff and the photographs with Adobe RGB. I'm never going to play with Adobe RGB on a video, but it wants you to be 28 inches from it. Well, I can't work that out here. Well, if you're putting it on a desk, you're going to be 28 inches. I need glasses already.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times we talk about computer monitors. You also got to add in effect what kind of video card you're pushing. So that's going to make a difference too. So like a TV, like my TV I have, it's a Vizio. It's a P series model. It is just a monitor, but it has no TV tuner in it. So basically, what I feed it is what it shows.
Right.
It's like a computer monitor, and that plays a lot too. What kind of video source that you're using and the video card itself.
There's a setting on most of these big TVs. One of the presets is called game.
Yeah, game and PC.
And that takes out almost all of the processing that the TV would do if you were watching a normal TV show or something, or a movie. And it does it much faster. It does it much faster too. I found that out the hard way. One day, I don't know how it got set into a different mode, but my mouse was lagging. I was using it on a computer, but my mouse was dragging a couple hundred milliseconds behind when I moved it. I was finding it almost impossible to use the mouse because I tried to point to something and I'd move the mouse and then the pointer'd move, and overshoot what I was trying to. And I found out that it had gotten out of that game mode or PC mode. And the TV was actually processing what was coming in, and that was adding a couple hundred millisecond latency to it. When I finally got it back into game mode, it started working again. The mouse was now moving exactly when I moved it. So I think if you have a big TV and you put it in PC mode or game mode, you're going to be just having, like what you have, a pretty much a monitor without the TV.
What are you using for a graphics card there, Dre?
Here, buffering, Jim. I didn't catch all of that.
Oh, I said, what are you using for a graphics card?
I have a pair of MIS GT 980 Ti's in my machine. They're in SLL mode.
Do you find that SLL to help you out?
Oh, when I'm rendering and when it's processing, it makes a difference. And like it's my machine, it's a decent machine. My board is taxed out. I can't put no more but 32 gig on it. I like to go to 64 because 64 gigs, you can scrub through 4K footage pretty smooth. Yeah. Anything below, I would say 32 gig, you're struggling to scrub through 4K footage. At 32, which is the max out my motherboard can handle, I can get through pretty decently. But if you start doing with 12, 24, or something like that, I told guys it's between what your video cards can handle and your memory on your board that's going to be able how good of an editor you can be. I don't care what software you use, DaVinci, Adobe. I use Sony Pro 17 on mine. It's all about the hardware, what your computer can handle. It's going to make the difference of how well you can edit.
And the one thing I do like about the DaVinci is it uses my GTX 1060 card, not the CPU, because my CPU is not, it's a i7 6700 HQ. It's not top of the line by any means. So this thing using the 1060 card is great. And to what Dre just said, I have 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM at 2166. ECC error correcting. But DaVinci even told me when I was trying to watch the video playback at full HD UHD, it told me my RAM was full with 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Well, Premiere Pro is a processor-based program. It doesn't use the video card all that much. That's just the way it works.
And when you use DaVinci for something like that, you know about the optimized media. When you do the optimized media, that improves it, because now this is the weird thing about my setup. Okay, the computer that I'm on right now, it's got a 1060 i7 7th gen, 32 gigs.
Right.
I hate editing on this. It's horrible. My desktop that I use for most all my editing, which I don't do a whole lot, not near as much as what you guys do, but it only has an i5, 16 gigs, and like a R9 3900, I think, or 390. I can't remember the graphics card, but that one is so much better editing on than this computer. And this computer that I'm on now is 3 times what that one is. So it all depends on. I'm not exactly sure what it depends on, but in my particular setup, I enjoy editing on that one much more than I do this one.
I wish there was a general standard that all the manufacturers would follow, but there isn't. Everything's a damn suggestion to these manufacturers, including the input-output ports that come on your display on your computer. And I had to do all the hunting in the world to find out. It says I have a display port. It says I have an HDR monitor, HDMI output. But I had to dig down through the specs, through different channels, to find out what the hell versions they were. And the version 1.2, and I need 1.4 to do HDR and DisplayPort.
Jim, are you saying they should just give us what we want?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Well, then there's no need to buy upgrade models in the future.
But dude, you're buying, let's say, a 3,000 computer with a 3,000 graphics card, a 3070 graphics card, and you're going to put a DisplayPort 1.2 in there? Are you kidding me? And there's no standard that says they have to do it anything.
Dan, do you lose a lot of sleep over this particular?
Oh, it kills me.
Yeah,
it kills me.
Dan, do you lose a lot of sleep over this? I don't.
I don't. Yeah, no, not really.
Man, you're wasting man. You're getting, you're getting skinny, or we won't be able to see you anymore.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
How you feeling?
I feel predictable. I feel all right, man. Dre, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bud. Your young boyish look you got going on there.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
I gotta
Jim,
shave
you hear
again.
me? You hear me, Jim, about video cards? It's just made for gamers. The gaming industry requires a higher level. They're not going to change the port from 1.2 to 1.4 until the gaming industry decides to say they want a higher throughput.
That SLI, that's just using the two together, right?
Yes. It uses the second card is basically going to be used to handle some higher calculations. It doesn't double the effort of the cards themselves. It's just that you put the main processor, which would be my number one card, it pushes off other calculations onto the second card, so it doesn't heat up as much or have as much, doesn't drain all the efficiency of the top card.
Right. And I also watched that task manager, Dre, when the GPU is doing the encoding and decoding. You can watch it going between that stuff too. I know, I'm a little crazy. Hot Rod and Daytona, I wish I had a DisplayPort 2.0, man. I even bought, Mitch, you remember when I bought all those adapters?
Yeah, I remember that.
I got a bunch of adapters behind me for the DisplayPort, the HDMI. What good is that if they're not outputting the quality in the first place? And the DisplayPort 1.4 is the basic you need for watching HDR.
And that was one of the reasons why I had to upgrade my AVR for my house. Is that my older AVR had 1.2 outputs for the HDMI, and I needed 1.4 to get Dolby Atmos and DTS and all that kind of stuff. So that was because of that change. Plus with the 4K TV, for you to get all the features you wanted, you needed 1.4 output of the HDMI.
I love the way they snuck in that HDMI 2.2 HDCP content protection.
Oh yeah, that's just protect the copyright materials.
Yep, yep. Everybody, they don't want you using a DVR anymore.
Well, mostly everybody's doing some type of mostly streaming. The cable companies basically are not cable companies; they're all streaming devices now, one way or another. All of my house runs off of the Amazon sticks.
I don't know, man. I don't see the point to keep going up 8K, 5K, 6K, 4. Like, I don't see the point. Just make it so we can plug something into our brain and just watch TV through our brain. I don't understand. You're visually, you can only take in so much. So I think the next step logically is to plug in.
Well, HDMI 2.1 is coming whether you like it or not. It'll be with all the 3000 cards, the Ampere cards. Have to have that in order to utilize it.
You're looking good though, Dan. I'm glad you're out of the hospital.
I feel all right.
Is that really going to be a debate? Can that even possibly be a debate with Biden involved?
Oh, no. I'll tell you what, though. I got to give it to him, because if they do bring in, what's-his-face, the Joe Rogan has agreed to do it, and Trump says he'll do it.
He's not doing it tonight. They got
no.
Chris Wallace tonight.
Okay, if Joe Rogan does do it, he's going to slay both of them. Joe Rogan is not the type of person who just sits through the thing and like tries to partition it out. He will be involved, and it will be epic. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Joe Rogan podcast.
He won't let him get away with crap.
No, he won't let him get away with anything. He will terrorize their mind frame until they answer the question.
The big debate, the big fight is whether the Biden folks are going to let him take a look in Joe's ears to make sure he's not wearing an earpiece.
True.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. The
man can't state
he will not agree to it. He will not agree to allow it to have an inspection before the debate to make sure he's not wearing an earpiece.
He will be.
For somebody to feed him the answers.
Of course.
When the man can't recite the Pledge of Allegiance, I turn off.
What do I hear? What's in the background?
It's probably me. Sorry.
TV, some kind of TV or something.
It's not just your wife.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's my wife watching.
Hey, how come I can't see any names, Jim? Where's everybody's names?
I turned them off.
I didn't turn them off.
I know why. Why. There, because you have a comment popped up.
Yeah, when you show comments.
Ah, okay.
Drone Strike is Matt. Drone Recovery is Dre. Mitch is Mitch. Jim is Jim.
I know. I'm just.
Yeah, I saw your live stream there, man, and I'm saying, you back on that again, Dan?
Hey, man, somebody's got to straighten that guy out when he starts lying. I have no problem doing that. Jim was involved. Jim was involved with the original apology. Remember that, Jim?
Yep.
You were in that when he was supposed to apologize to everybody. Nope.
What's he lying about now?
What's that?
What's he lying about?
He's telling all his followers that he's disliked for like all these reasons that have nothing to do with why he's actually being disliked. Like, he's had this dislike for 2 years. Like, these dislikes have been following him religiously for 2 years because he still owes an entire group of people an apology. You know, we're talking about the same guy who looked up somebody's arrest record after meeting the person.
He did.
Yeah. Looked up somebody's arrest record after meeting the person and then called everybody that was at the drone event to tell him that they were around a convicted felon from something that happened 20 years ago. Got the dude totally screwed over with his job. This dude, I would never go near BTDR in real life, ever. That dude is like the shystiest, most shady dude ever. I call him out any chance I get. I'm not putting up with it. I'm sorry.
But he truly did that. Now.
Yep, Brian. It was Brian. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a really shady, low-down thing to do to somebody.
That is absolutely despicable behavior.
Yep. So, I'm sorry. I know the whole story of Bill. I don't ever support that guy. Ever. I was there from the beginning. So.
So anyway, Mitch, what you were talking about, where my failure was in, I think it's this here. See, you can scope up these the parade, let's say, that goes up to 10,000 nits, and the average TV, like we just talked about, you got to dumb that down to 300 to 500. So you're cutting this thing in half.
But you're saying that it didn't look blown out on your monitor when you edited it.
In Resolve, it was not blown out.
Ah.
Soap opera effect, I think Hot Rod's talking about.
Was there any settings in your rendering that might have done that to the color?
No. I used the Rec 2100 and SMTP 2084, which is what YouTube tells you to use. That's the standard for the EOF, the electro-optical transfer function. It's just transferring the video under this specification. Boom. Tells YouTube what to play it at. That's right, Bob. He said, I pledge allegiance to the flag. For real. That's when I turned them off.
Come on, man.
I saw the 8K TVs at when you walked into CES 2020. That's all they were pushing.
They're probably all 4K. They're just telling you they're 8K.
They tripled.
Prove me wrong.
See, like here, this guy's got to dumb down to 1023. But like I said, it goes up to 10,000 nits. Well, there's no TV right now that even does that. 1023 would be the best. And what I'm having to do.
How could you watch a TV that was that bright?
Well, I don't know. This also has to include the projectors too, right?
I guess.
Because they just make one spec. They don't make one spec for TVs and one for, well, DCI P3, Digital Cinema Initiative.
Ouch.
P3 is for theaters, like we talked about, projecting it on the theaters. Did not know this. Yeah,
No.
That's an old story.
Bob, there is a lot that a lot of people don't know. Trust me, man. If we really unloaded everything that we knew, you guys would be appalled. You've been following them up to this point.
See you, Mel. Mel came and went real quick.
Mel was part of all that.
Adrian.
What's going on, Tim?
There we go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up, big boy?
How you doing there?
I'm
Hey,
doing
guys.
all right. Mr. Drake Crawford, how you doing, Chief?
Doing good, partner. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Hold on. Who's that? Jim, can you please remove that comment?
You want to see names?
No, I want to see my boy Drone Strike. Yeah, how you doing, Chief?
Good, Bubba. How you been?
I'm doing all right. Mitch.
Adrian.
What's up,
You
old
see that,
boy?
Matt? He didn't know your name until I did that. That's Matt.
Exactly. How you doing, Jim?
Good, buddy.
And you know, I have to leave Mr. Jackass for last. Mr. Bill's worst nightmare. Freaking
What's up,
idiot.
bud?
You
But
freaking
the show's about to start, fellas, and my drink's empty. So
idiot, fat ass.
In the words of Dre, I'm bougie.
You idiot, fat ass.
Is that a take on bourgeois?
Hey, Jim, ¿dónde está la casa de Pepe? That's what I mean.
Donde está Casa de Pepe? Where's the house of Peter when you're in a
How you
Mexican
doing,
bar?
How you doing, Rick Halbert?
Oh man,
I'm
Rick, it's
actually-
good to see you, buddy.
I'm good to see you too, man. Listen here, I'm eating, so don't talk shit about my food. Okay?
You're always eating, dude.
Oh my
you-
God.
You're cooking.
He is. Is it ramen?
No.
Beans
Dude.
and rice.
Beans and rice.
Unbelievable.
Well,
What time is it? It's
Matt
almost
just dipped.
9 o'clock.
Almost
Yeah.
9 o'clock. Yeah. Everybody's going to go watch the debate.
I
I'm
have
going to
no
bed.
interest. No interest in that.
I'm going to bed. I got to take my mom to the airport at 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be on here for probably another 10 minutes and then call it. I got an early bedtime now, boys. I put myself to bed by like 9 or 10. It's incredible, right?
Now, Dan, what is the bullshit about Bill's worst nightmare? What is that? What the fuck is going on here?
Hey, man, you weren't there for all of it either. It's fun. It's fun. Just trust me. Go back and watch my stream. You'll understand.
Trusting you? Hell no.
You'll understand. Somebody had to correct the guy again, unfortunately. Poor guy. The guy is like, I don't know, man. This is a glutton for punishment, I think.
You guys
Delusions of grandeur, maybe. I don't know.
You guys are acting like a bunch of females in heat. That's what
I am. I'm always acting like a female in heat, bro.
Jimbo, what are you showing us, Jimbo?
Yeah, what is this?
You wouldn't.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm
It's
going
showing
to.
us the HDMI ports information on HDMI 2.0. But like it says in the top one, he showed that you got to have the 2.0 ports on both ends, from the signal and from the monitor.
I'm going to watch the debate, guys, and I'm going to watch Steven Crowder watching the debate and commenting on it in real time, which ought to be incredibly entertaining.
And get some popcorn for that.
Is that louder with Crowder?
Yeah, he's fabulous, and he's doing a debate watching party, and he's got Ted Cruz coming on with him, and his regular crew. They're wearing look at the outfit he's wearing. He's wearing
A boxing gear.
It looks like a red, white, and blue boxing robe, and but
living in America.
Gotta watch the debate. Watch that stream because that'll make it entertaining as hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm going to bug out and I'm going to go watch this, Jim.
Curtis McDart.
Thanks for having me. I will catch you guys on the next one.
See you later, Mitch.
Later, Mitch.
Good night, everybody in the chat as well. Bye-bye.
Hey, Curtis.
How you doing,
Curtis
Curtis?
McDart. It's good to see you, Curtis.
Have you seen Curtis's DCI? Dick? No, you haven't seen his artwork?
Hold on. I want to just phrase that back. Did you see Curtis's DCI? And then I thought you said Dick.
Yeah, it's
and then
Dick, it's like Dick Tracy.
That's such a strange thing to ask a grown man. Did you see Curtis's Dick? I hope I did not.
I said DCI
really
first.
You know what, Dre? I'm so glad that you have the headphones on because your baby's right behind you. I'm so glad you got that on.
Yeah, well.
I know.
I'm so glad you got that on.
That's why we all have earphones on tonight. Yes.
Well,
This is fun.
My baby's not here, so I'm home alone.
So does everybody understand what I was saying now about not purchasing products that aren't DJI? You're going to lose the entire market of drones. That's what's happened. Look at how stagnant the market went since DJI stopped making drones. They kicked all the other competition to the curb, and then now what? Who's making drones? Who's doing what?
Well, he's got Watts Aviation making drones. You got Autel making drones. The price.
But when's the latest one coming out? They're stalled. They're stagnant again. The Autel Evo 2's almost been out a year now.
You're talking about affordable drones.
I'm talking
in
about
America, they don't make affordable
hobby.
drones.
I'm talking about hobby grade drones, regular. You can use them for work, whatever. But I'm not talking about like big commercial grade drones. I'm talking about the average basic drones that can be used for basic commercial stuff and regular hobby grade stuff. The market's dumped, man. Look at everybody's channel. Even Billy Kyle's sitting stagnant because if DJI is not making things, then nobody cares to like. It's funny to watch the market just die. I've been talking about it for years. It's my second year talking about watching the market just cave on itself.
They're still talking about the Mavic Mini. Whereas I always talk about, you got your drone, now let's use it. Use it to its potential. If the damn thing says it can do 4K, I want to see 4K. If it says it's going to do 10-bit, I want to see the 10-bit.
I want Parrot to come up with drones. I want Unique to come up with more drones. What's happening to the companies? Where are they going?
Why did Unique stop even marketing?
Why'd Parrot?
They had that.
What happened?
The Skydio X2 is an enterprise level.
They're picked up by the U.S. government now. They're doing other things, man. They're government contract now. The DJI can't get it, so they're going to be a big player no matter what.
They've also been funded by the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with what Thomas Arrow just said.
It's not. No. I'm not saying it's DJI's fault. I'm saying it's everyone on YouTube's fault. Everybody just got into this thing where it was
right to
nothing but DJI talk. Everything just went DJI. So all the other manufacturers went, well, why are we even trying to compete? They're not even trying to hear what we have to say. That's when Parrot dropped off. That's when Unique just gave up. I mean, all these companies, I tried to warn everybody, stop just saying DJI is amazing, because when you do that, you just crap out all the other competition. Nobody wanted to listen. Now here we are. It's just like a very stagnant drone market. What's that?
What was the competition? The Xeno?
Well, I mean, you would have had, and heck no, dude. If they had carried on the Anafi would have easily been more of a competitor if they come out with an Anafi too. Like they didn't even. It's nobody even gave these birds a chance. Like they didn't even try. They just were like, okay, the Anafi, and then bam, straight back to DJI. It's like, I hate to say it, but they killed the market, man. The people killed the market. It's sad to me. It's sad to watch.
You got to understand, Bob Casey, DJI didn't make anything. They made it easier. They took open source software, prioritized it, and made it easy to use in what's called the Go4 app. Frank Wang didn't make up that Go4 app. That came from open source software. And I think 3DR was there before anybody. With the operations of that, weren't they? Because Wang started in 2006. Was their first product?
I don't think. Well, no. 3DR may have been doing app development for that kind of stuff, but I don't know if they were partaking in firmware builds yet. Open source firmware builds for birds. That didn't start until like 2013. That was introduced by Colin Gwynn from DJI, he was an SEO at DJI at the time. He brought the idea over to 3DR to actually start designing open source. That's where APM and all that, Arducopter-driven platform stuff came from.
What about every other country, Tomas? We don't even talk about that. You got France with the Parrot.
That's what I said. French drones. I mean, I'm trying to hit this from all aspects, man. But affordable drones. Most people can buy, not just for simple commercial and hobby grade. That's just disappearing. The market's disappearing. So you got what? Femi? Femi's like a mid-range player. You got Hubson, who's just designing still very low-grade birds. If you want my opinion, they're always going to be making low. Like nobody's trying to take out Hubson. Hubson's doing their own thing.
From the Health Education Campus of Case Western
What is
Reserve
that noise?
and the Cleveland Clinic.
I don't know.
Sorry, that was me. I got the debate playing in the background.
Oh.
Well, Dan, this is the way I see it. You guys have been in this game a lot longer than I have, and I look at it from the, like I said, consumer level, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a product or a corporation who has become the de facto king of the market, they control the market, no matter anybody else is making drones. And another thing is, where DJI comes from out of China, 90% of the parts that in everybody else's drone comes from where? China.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm sure DJI has exclusive rights and marketing things with the Chinese government, which they can say, you know what? Let's slow down our chip making for anybody and everybody else. So they still got to come talk to us. So until you have a totally in-house bird out of France or out of America that makes it from the first hex screws to the last propeller that is made in another country or in our own country, then DJI will still control the market without ever putting out another drone, because they're in bed with the Chinese government. Just like any other Chinese product that is made in China, they have direct government contacts and controls of the internal parts that everybody else still needs to use.
Let me answer Bob's question. Then why do I own so many DJI drones? Because they made it easy to do the things. I'm too lazy to
pull it out of the box and
take
go.
An S1000 frame and put my own flight controller on it and make it my own. I'm sitting here worried about HDR color, where if I wanted to do that, I would be sitting there worried about four-way SECs and
Sure.
making my own X8 frame, heavy lift, and all that.
And Jim knows I've always enjoyed the challenge. I've always enjoyed 3DR stuff because it's open source, but it wasn't sourced out of China. It was sourced out of Mexico. It was sourced out of U.S. and Mexico. So
You got to remember, Shenzhen is its own little district.
Mm-hmm.
It is an incubator.
Yep.
Everything is, I'm not going to say free, but if you go over there, you can go over as a U.S. company, sit inside their incubator, and they'll feed you. You can walk down the street and build an Apple phone.
That's true.
You can literally
stop at each vendor.
Here's the case. Here's the guy who makes the chip. You take A, put it into B. You can walk down the street and make your own Apple phone. But they have to give any and all information to the Chinese government. It's law. It's law. No two ways about it.
Yeah, what are we looking at that as? It's like a communist, right? No?
Yeah, it's communist.
Yeah, it's a communist.
That's what they call it, the People's Communist Republic of China.
Right.
Kind of go with the title.
Right. Wow.
Listen, they made their own. We all know what dredging is. They made their own naval base between Vietnam and I forget the other country now. It wasn't Taiwan or something, was it, Dre? But anyway, they dredged up and made their own naval base just so U.S. ships couldn't go by. It's almost like they want to start a war. And you think Trump's being too hard on them? Nah.
Oh, man.
Anti-lock brakes for the record. Matthew! You on the road, buddy?
What's going on, Matt?
The beast
Hey,
from
fellas,
the
how are ya?
Northeast. What's
How
up?
you doing, Mr. Matt North?
Oh, going good, thanks. How's yourself, everybody? How are you?
Your ugly ass glasses on.
You're on the job.
Yeah, on the job, mate. Lighting's terrible today. Really pissed. But anyway, see how we go.
So
Unbelievable.
I tried doing some other clips and I really dumbed them down. So
Yeah, how'd you go?
I got to see how they look on YouTube. I got them up as private right now.
Okay.
I got to see how they look.
Well, when I get home, send me the link, mate. And when I get home, I'll check them out.
I ran my scopes down to 1023 rather than the 10,000 nits it was at.
Yeah, yeah.
I capped it at 1023, and we were just talking about 4K TVs earlier. I think like 750 should be the highest. I don't know, somewhere between 300 and 500 nits is going to be the sweet spot to color.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very difficult. I'd like to have a chat to Al actually because I want to know what he color graded on. I want to know what screen he was using because I know Apple's got a different setup or some shit. I'd like to know what he had.
They've got those Retina displays, and he's got the newest Mac, so I don't know what that quality is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. It's probably higher than what we're dealing with with our monitors.
Definitely better than what I'm dealing with this 4K HDR TV, which is actually crap.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's what I said to you. You won't be able to color grade from that TV, man. It just won't cut it. It won't cut it. I mean, even though your monitor on your computer is 1080, you'll get a better image out of that 1080 monitor than what you will as a color grade anyway from that monitor rather than the TV. But then again, too, it's the settings. It's all the settings when it comes to what color profile you're rendering out at too. You just don't know what the hell it's going to look like.
Right.
Pain in the butt.
I did put it all over onto the HDR TV screen and rendered it on that. I mean, when I say rendered, I mean changed the colors so I could see how it was going to look on this TV.
And you don't know how that worked yet?
No, I don't know how that came out yet.
I don't think that would have worked unless you dumbed it right down. But anyway, I don't think that'll work.
I tried
anyway,
to dumb it down to like 750.
Yeah. Well, I'll be interested to see that. Very interested to see that. Because I really don't think you'd be able to color grade off of a 4K TV. What did it look like, though, when you were color grading it?
Oh, man. It's blown out. Look at this shit. Sorry for my language. Holy Christ. Let me share that screen.
Didn't work?
I put this as unlisted, but look at this. That's color graded.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
That look like fucking cartoons.
That's worse than before, man.
Yeah, you won't be able to do it, man. That's ridiculous.
Jim, that look like shit. I'm sorry.
I changed it. That's 2060. That is 2160 HDR, and that is terrible. This is what I'm talking about.
When you said you pulled it down, though, did you go to RGBs? Did you go luminous and all that sort of shit? Did you dumb all them down as well, or did you just do an overall?
No, I did.
Okay.
But
yeah, oh, look at that. Did you put some urea down overnight, mate? Everything's gone nice and green.
I've done something terribly wrong.
Dude, and this is why. I mean, you know how long I spent on that with my epoxy screen. I mean, well, it's not epoxy in 99.9 other % of applications, but when it comes to HDR, it's epoxy screen. You know, it's shit. I just couldn't do it.
I don't get it.
Okay,
Why does
Jim,
the bird come out okay?
Let me ask you a question, Jim. I remember you posted this originally on YouTube last week or maybe over the weekend. And my question is, what did you originally shoot with? I know if you just rendered an HDR, but what did you actually shoot with?
This was the Mavic 2 Pro in D-Log, MOV, H265, no color because it's D-Log, and then I have 000 for sharpness, brightness, and whatever the other one is. Anyway, I put them at 000.
Okay, how did you get to upload to YouTube in HDR? Because I shot that USC one I did about a couple weeks back. Yeah. I shot that with part of that with the Mavic 2 Pro, the first part, in D-Log, H265. And when I tried to upload to YouTube, it only showed that came up as 1080p. It wouldn't go to 4K, it wouldn't go to HDR.
You have to render it as Rec 2020 color space. And then when you do the gamma, you have to tell it that the gamma is Rec 2100 PQ, ST 2084 ETOF.
Okay, because I know I did mine. I rendered it at regular 4K, and it didn't even come out in 4K when I uploaded to YouTube. It came out at 1080p.
You see it, brother? I think I tell you right in that top line. It's uploaded at Rec 2020, and then it's 2100 PQ. And then ST 2084 is the ETOF, the electro-optical transfer function. But again, this is unlisted, and it's absolutely terrible. It's worse than the one I put up 2 days ago.
Yeah, this one's definitely blown out compared to one you did 2 days ago. This has some oversaturation, and I got some teal-looking spots on the ground on the tree bark area, stuff like that.
The guy was totally red. That's what blew me away. I don't understand how the colors came out good, and then the guy was totally red.
Can I just ask a question? Who have we got here? I can't see who's in the panel here. Who was just talking then?
That's Dre, Recovery One Drone.
Dre, how are you, mate?
How you doing, bud?
Not bad. If you were to right click on that file within your computer, what's the data on that file, mate? It is 4K, isn't it?
Absolutely.
No. On Dre's.
Oh.
You talking about on my video or on his?
On your clip.
Yeah, no.
Your video.
Yeah, on your clip before it's uploaded, that file on your computer. If you were to right click on that and get the info on it, it is 4K, isn't it? It's not 1080p. It's just to make sure that it's not rendered out at 1080.
Yeah, no, I rendered it in 4K, but when I uploaded to YouTube, YouTube only was displayed at 1080p. Now I put up most of my videos all 4K, and they come out 4K when I upload to YouTube. When I shoot in H.264, I shot that one in H.265, and when I uploaded it, it went back down to 1080p. That YouTube, their rhythm. What we call it? I'm looking for the word,
No,
but
you're right, because that happened to me tonight. You have to have the correct PQ, the 2100 PQ at ST2084. I'll show you right here. I screwed it up myself tonight when I was uploading videos. Go there, right here under videos. This one here, oh, you can't see. See the one that's blinking?
yeah.
That one only came out at 4K, not 4K HDR. And I said, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yeah,
And it
okay.
was bad.
But
See, that's not HDR at all.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta go to sleep.
All right,
Dan.
Dan.
oh, it sounds like Dan.
It's been fun. Hey, Matt, I gotta take my
Hey, Dan,
mom
how are you, mate?
here
See you
in a
later,
couple
Dan.
hours. Yeah, I'm doing, Matt. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good on
I'll
you, mate.
catch you
I can't
guys
see
on the
anyone,
flip.
eh? Sorry, dude.
All right, man.
See you, mate.
Toodles.
He's got to go to the airport early. Wait,
Have you got that original file, Dre, on your computer at the moment?
Yeah, I got the original file.
can you pull it up?
Can you just
have a look at the info on that file for me?
You guys go ahead and talk. I'll look it up here in a second. Hang on.
Yeah. So I really messed up again, Matt, with those colors. I lowered the scale down to 1023 instead of the 10,000 nits, and then I tried to render it down to 750. When I was doing my colors, I tried to keep everything at or below 750.
Yeah, right.
So they wouldn't be blown out like they are.
See, it's the gamma. Depending on what you're rendering it out to with that color gamma, because you know how many there are in DaVinci. There's like 300 of them.
Yeah.
Different gamma ratings and all that sort of shit. Now that's what you're going to have to go through to try and find the one that works. And this is where I decided that my hair was more important than Rec 2020, and I gave up because all of my hair would have fallen out if I was to continue with this crud. It's shitty. Oh, I don't know how many times I did shit, mate. Unreal. I would have looked like Adrian.
You know what the funny thing is, Agent K, when I say I did something terribly wrong, I don't know what it was. There's nothing there to tell you, hey, Jim, lower the colors so they're crushed, for Christ's sakes, because YouTube won't play them any other way.
Yeah, it's the gamma. It's the gamma setting on your render on one of those color settings that you've selected is incorrect.
Right.
And that's what you've got to do. It's like I don't know. It's like Tetris. You're putting that in there, and hopefully that works. And if you pull it out, the whole lot might crash. You know, like so. Yeah, it's a bloody pain in the ass, mate. Real pain in the ass.
And when we're talking about the gamma, on I did it at 2100, Rec 2100, which is what YouTube says to use under YouTube's recommendations. Did you find that clip, Dre?
Yeah, I found the clip now. You want me to just show you the properties of the clip, or you want me to bring it up in my
show the properties first, and then bring the clip up.
Okay.
Properties.
Let me see if I can send this into the screen here. I'll share screen.
Because you shot it in H.265, right?
Right. Yeah.
So then that's definitely 10-bit.
And this is the rendered file. It's not the one off your SD card, is it?
No, this is the rendered file, the final product.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Okay.
No worries.
Hey, Dre, when we were talking last week, I downloaded that media info. Wow, that's a friggin' resource and a half, man. That'll tell you every damn thing there is about your video file. Under View, hit Tree. and it brings everything down like a tree. The video with YUV color. All right, I'll share. I see it, and I'm going to pop it up. All right, now hit details, and then slowly scroll down. So that's why is the data rate so low?
Here we go.
25 frames per second. Why
Yeah, I
would you
shot
Yeah,
it.
20.
That's when I rendered it at.
What's the kilobytes?
23?
Wow, man, that's lower than a Spark.
Why is that so low?
Well, you can see here at the level of the frame width, frame height. I don't know why data rate was that low.
The drone shoots 100,000
Yeah,
kilobytes.
but this is the finished rendering file. This is not the raw file. I'm sure the drone shot it higher, but when I finished rendering it, this is what the final product came out.
I don't think that you've activated VP9.
Your settings weren't right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about what was settings you had on yours. Cause I know this should have came out a lot more. I mean, it's a nice clip when I finished editing and everything else, but I felt the colors were just a bit still soft for H.255 out.
If you're going for 24 frames a second, you should either use 29.97 or the 24 instead of 25.
I don't have on the version I have. It goes 25. I don't have the 23 point whatever 9 is to give you 24. It goes jumps right up to 25.
Okay.
And like I go to 30, it'll be at 29 something for 30.
Right.
Yeah, 29.97. That's right. Yeah. I wouldn't. That's not an issue at all. Did you shoot it in 30 frames?
No, I shot it in 24.
Okay, so you've rendered off in 24 as well. That's all right. That's no worries.
Right.
But I think what's happened is your bit rate's so low, it hasn't activated VP9 on YouTube. And I think to activate VP9, it's, I think, 60 megabit above, I think. Something like that, isn't it?
It's 50 to 83 at the HDR.
Yeah, okay.
Scale.
Yeah, there you go.
50,000 to 83,000 kilobits.
Yeah, so I think that's what's happened there. Unless, when did you put the video up, mate?
This end of last month. I think I got it here at August 30th. It was the end of last month.
Okay. And it still hasn't changed over. All right, because mine took about 2 weeks ago, mine took about 3 days before it went to 4K for some reason. But anyway, I think it's because your bit rate's so low. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up one of the raw files that I have on here and see what it says. Hang on a second.
Ray, when you watch the video itself and you right click on the video and hit stats for nerds, does it show you? Have you checked that at all? Because it should show you. Like if I hit this,
no, I haven't checked it at all.
So I'll right click this one, hit stats for nerds, and it says it's VP9 SM Society of Motion Picture Engineers 2084 PQ BT 2020. That's what you need to have it saying.
Hang on here. I got one of the raw files. I'm going to try to share this with you guys.
All right.
I don't know if you guys can see it now. This is one of the raw files. You see it?
I'm seeing the one. I'm still seeing this one.
Okay, let me get rid of that one.
Okay.
What about now?
Not yet.
Okay. I may have to reshare it. Hang on.
All right. So what I'm talking about is when you click on your own video, you can hit stats for nerds, and you see it up there. It's coming up now, Dre. I'm going to jump off, but you see the color. It says SMTP 2084 PQ.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then BT 2020 is your HDR.
Right.
I'm coming off and putting yours up.
Now, when you talk about the data rate, this is the raw file right off the SD card. I copied over to my hard drive.
That's good. That's 60,000.
That's what I'm saying. So it was there originally, and I don't know between the rendering or what the final product was after the rendering, it got dumbed down to the 2300. But that's the raw file.
Now look,
is that a Mavic Pro?
You're shooting in DCI 4K.
What we're flying with? That's 2.7. What do you got? 2.7K.
Hey, guys, I'm trying to understand what's going on, but something you guys talking at the same time, and I don't get it. You know, I'm really dumb when it comes to this, but I'm
All
trying
right,
to learn.
Adrian, take a seat in the corner and put that pointy hat on for a second.
Yeah.
It should be 3840 by 2160.
You've shot that in 2.7K, is that correct?
I think it's DCI 4K.
No, it's in 4K. Go back here.
Those measurements aren't 4K, are they?
Yeah, it's 4000. That's 4K. But he
Oh,
shot
it is. Okay,
DCI.
so
Yeah,
I
right
missed
there.
something then.
He
I missed
shot
something then.
DCI 4K instead of HQ mode or.
Right. This is with the highest level, because you see it at the highest level here. Because yeah.
What drone is that,
usually-
mate?
That's the Maverick 2 Pro.
And it's at 60. Why is it at 60?
Because he shot it at DCI 4K. If you shoot it at 3840 by 2160, it'll be 100,000 kilobits.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, okay. All right.
But 60 is still fine, and he shot it at 24. He shot it correct. It's how you rendered it. That's all.
That's why I wanted to find out how you rendered it, because I know when I rendered it and I uploaded to YouTube, I thought, wow, why am I only getting 1080p when I know it should at least give me 4K, and I was trying to show it in HDR.
Is it possible, because I know you're on your computer, but is it possible to pop up your render screen on your Sony Vegas so we can go through it with you? I don't know if that's actually going to be possible because he's on the computer. That's hard to do.
We might have to switch windows. That's all. We'll see what happens. It's booting up now.
At least it's booting up. Mine won't boot up while we're streaming.
So you want to see my rendering area?
Yeah, and then we can go work through it with you.
Okay. Let me see here. It come up here.
What program is it?
It's Sony Vegas Pro 17.
Okay.
Okay, let me
nothing about that program.
Yeah. Share screen, application window.
Now here's the problem, Matt. It's not one of the 4 programs that YouTube says can do HDR. I'm not entirely sure if he can do Rec 2020.
Yeah,
okay,
so
can you guys see that?
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Now, can you go to your, act like you're going to render it.
Okay, that window didn't pop up for some reason. I got to go back. Stop sharing. Hang on.
Okay. You might have to click on the timeline to let it know you're working in that timeline, and then go to render. Hey, Margie.
Hey, Margie, how you doing? Matt, where the heck are you going? You've been driving for a while there, mate.
Dude, I've been trying to get some decent footage today, but it isn't working out, mate. The lighting is terrible, absolutely shocking. The sunrise was crud. The clouds are rolled in. It's all poo, mate. I'm just going to have to try another day, I think. I mean, I've got a shitload of footage, but I'll never use it.
Matt's actually doing his job. Hey, Brian at TDR Drones wants to know if you're driving to McDonald's, Matt.
Give a Vegemite a Big Mac.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, bloody Brian. Good on you, mate. No, it's Burger King. Yeah.
And,
no.
Margie, I took that video down because it was so terrible. The color came out so bad. I just unlisted it.
Hey, Jim, it's not letting me show the render box. When I pop it up, it just shows the main screen of the program where I do my editing. It won't let me show the render box that pops up.
That's
I'll try
okay.
to share it.
If you look at my video 2 videos ago, in my description, I didn't put anything but the actual specs there. Let me, I shut my site off. Okay, let me open that one so you can see it. Yeah, this is what media info gives you. Let me just open the damn video. Okay. But first of all, we're going to right click and show stats for nerds. And we're going to go here, here, and here. Well, there. Now you see under the stats for nerds, it's VP9, but the color space is 2084 PQ. Remember, that's your ETOF, your electro-optical transfer function that YouTube wants. 2084 PQ.
Right.
And I rendered it in color space 2020. Now, if we scroll down, these are the actual specs of that video. So this is from Media Info, the free program.
And that's inside YouTube, or that's something you added on?
That's an add-on app that lets you inspect every aspect of your video. But what we're looking at here is where it says that main 10 at L6 high. That's that PQ 2100 and SMTP 2084. I don't know if Sony Vegas 17 will do BT 2020. Do you, Dre?
No, I don't know that for sure. That's why when I did that video, I was just testing it out, and I was kind of disappointed in what came out. And that's why I was asking you guys about it, because like when I go to my rendering. Okay, now under the HEVC AAC settings, I have everything from this gets generic trends: Internet 4K, UHD, 2160, 5994 frames per second, Intel QSV. I have another one, same information as NVIDIA NVENC. And it goes out different type of settings. Now it has HDR 10 4K UHD, and it just says 2160p 50 frames per second. And another one, same thing, 50 frames per second. That's a HLG. So I guess I have to use an HDR 10.
Try that HDR and see how close you get.
Yeah, I'll re-render it in that and see if YouTube will take it.
Before you do that though, mate, is there anywhere there in your quality settings when you're rendering off that gives you the option to change the megabit? Because usually there are in most programs you can change the quality settings. If you've got that set to auto, sometimes it grabs the lowest common denominator and it's nowhere near what you actually shot at. So in there.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, don't go into the custom settings. I mean, don't go into the auto settings. Do you use the auto settings for YouTube and all that sort of shit? As you're rendering, because it gives you some options there to render off it for YouTube and Facebook or whatever. Don't ever use them. Don't ever use them.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot and see how it comes out.
Right.
So, I just want to get the information how you did it, so in the future I have some idea. I want to post something to HDR or something like that, at least a higher resolution.
But have you got custom settings within that render page?
Oh yeah, it'll allow you to. You got several different presets, but you can customize them yourself. Like I say, I'm not as knowledgeable as Jim or you may be, so the results will be like shooting dice.
Yeah, okay. Because as I said, never use those presets. Always go into a custom setting, manual, custom, or whatever, and use them. Otherwise, everything is friendly to YouTube. It's never friendly to your footage.
Right.
That's what Power Director was doing to me, Dre. Really dumbing it down when it came to hitting the YouTube render for YouTube. So I always had to do it custom.
Yeah, there should be manual settings there somewhere. I wish I was on my computer and I could see the bloody screen properly, and I'd be able to sort of point you in the right direction of where it is on that render page. But anyway, just search around for it, mate. You can change all sorts. You can actually bump, and this is what I used to do with the Spark footage. See, the Spark only ever shot at 24 megabit, well, tiny, but I'd render that thing off at 60 megabit. Which obviously increased the size of the file and all that sort of thing, and I would render it off to 4K. It's not true 4K, but the better quality that I was getting out of the footage, out of the render, was incredibly big. and that's why a lot of my Spark footage is, you know, sometimes you can't even tell if it's a Mavic Pro shooting it. You know,
Right. That's what I appreciate about your work, Matt. That you really can't tell, especially off of YouTube. You can't tell. I put money on between your shots with your Spark and your Pro and Mavic 2 that you can't tell the difference which is which, because you do an excellent job and you're flying, and you do an excellent job in your rendering that you cannot tell at all.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
You see here?
Yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Okay, guy. See, that color primary has to be 2020 for it to be HDR. And then you see where it says EOTF?
Right, yeah.
That's where I'm using that Rec 2100 PQ, and 2084 is my gamma. So that's the settings right there. Now let's see the file encoding. We're not using ProRes. We're all using the 10-bit 264. So even if you hit 265, YouTube renders it to 264 anyway, but that's not our problem either.
Because that's what I thought was the issue, because I did have the file was in 265. I thought that might have been a reason that YouTube didn't recognize it and dumbed it down.
See where it says here, HDR videos must be tagged with the correct EOTF, so they have to say PQ on them. That'll be that 2100 or 2084. See, they suggest 2086. And this is what we were talking about earlier. That max full, all that is full array local dimming. Now,
you getting all this, Adrian?
Adrian.
This is my problem here, Trey.
I think his eardrums have gone numb.
Let's see what
I agree.
This is what correct is.
Adrian, finish apologizing later.
Yeah. That's a long apology. That's longer than my drive.
Adrian, you following along? He still got us on mute or something.
Oh my
you
God.
See here, Matt, where it says the Rec 2100 standard implies 2020 color?
Yeah, I can't read that, mate, but yeah.
Okay. When I rendered out, I did it as a color spaces 2020, and then under gamma, I went Rec 2100 / ST 2084.
Yeah, okay. That's that's the standard there. Yeah.
I did what it told me to do.
Yeah. No, this yeah. This is where I started searching eBay for bloody straitjackets, because nothing was working, and I would have been committed if I'd gone another day. I would have been committed. So I just left it. It became a frustrating, never-ending battle to try to get this stuff right. I've really like to have a good chat to Al, because the HDR video that he put up looked okay. It wasn't blown out or anything.
Dre, this is under. Sorry, go ahead.
And further tweaking with whatever he was doing would have made that video even better. I'm not saying it wasn't any good. That's for sure. It was. It looked all right. But you can play around with that again, you know, and that would have been something that I would have mucked around with. But as a HDR video, it's come out fine. You know, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
and I want to know how he did it.
Yeah, but you had one that came out fine too.
HDR, actually, no, I didn't. That didn't end up. That actually, at the beginning of that bloody video, I said HDR Rec 2020, blah 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 blah, but it didn't actually render out to that. So the beginning of the video is actually I'm lying, and it didn't actually turn out like that, which is a bit bit pissed off about. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Because it did look all right, and the reason it looked all right because it wasn't what I thought it rendered out at.
Yeah. So Dre, you could just type in under Google search HDR uploads in YouTube, and it'll come up with this page.
Right. Yeah, I'll do that next time. I need to go out and do some fun flying. I've been doing this work flying lately, just getting up, taking stills of different projects. And I haven't really gone out and gotten some footage to edit and upload lately, so I need to go out and do that.
Dude, I need to burn some batteries. I need to go through batteries. Seriously. You know, for maintenance.
Right.
I've got some that I'm not, like, I haven't flown the Inspire in a while, and I need to get those batteries back in shape.
Yeah, I just had 3 batteries swell on me on my Maverick Pro over the last week. I was doing a job down in Whittier, California, and I had one battery swell on me I did that live view for for Mel and somebody else, and I had a battery swell that day, and then I noticed I had 2 other ones swelling after the job I did that in Whittier this weekend. So I'm
original Maverick.
Yeah, original Maverick Pro. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so the batteries are they're both manufactured back in 2017. So they were due. They were due and stuff. I didn't think they'll happen that fast in progression of each battery. I still got 4 left, so that's my workhorse.
How many? Do you know how many charges those batteries had on them?
I have to look at them closely. Look at my air data and find out for sure. But I think each of them had at least close to 35 to 40 cycles on them.
That's not much.
Not really, but
yeah.
It all depends on how you've. Sorry.
No, I don't strain my batteries. I usually bring them back within about 30 to 25%. So I don't run them down low or anything like that. But I think just the difference of the heat that we've had this year and the other elements of, I think it just kind of caught up with them.
Okay. Yeah.
The heat. Go ahead, Mitch.
Sorry, mate. The heat has got a big thing, and obviously you can watch that while you're flying too. The heat of your battery. I have had issues in the past, although it hasn't swollen up yet. I'm still running. I did sell 2 of my Mavic Pro batteries, but I'm still running 4 of them, and they've got between they're 70 or one's got 75, the other one's 90. They're getting up there, man. And my Spark ones have got over 100 on them, and they're still cracking along. Those little buggers, yeah, they're fantastic. But that's really not a lot of charges to be going on, And I've been flying it around in.
Mine swelled to 25. Remember that on the Mavic 2 Pro?
That's the 2 Pro. Yeah, that was that inherent one from 2018 August.
Yeah.
They're beautiful shots. There's one shot here at 129. I love one of these shots at 129. Beautiful shot. Sorry.
No problem. I think because I do carry mine out on my job, which means the drone is in the bag in my truck during the day, which it gets extremely hot. So I think the heat played more of a factor than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they can do too, mate. They don't like real hot and they don't like real cold. They're temperamental little buggers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're dealing with these
batteries. Man, they hate the cold. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Which one of those, Jim?
The Inspire batteries. You'll get about 50% of their usage when they're so cold.
I thought they had an internal heating system on those, or something like that. Or
not
in the drone. Not the Inspire 1, but Inspire 2 does. Okay.
Yeah. Holy cow, man! You go from 15 minutes down to 7-8 minutes.
Spark battery, mate.
This is Al's HDR video. Of course, we're watching it crushed through YouTube and then crushed through StreamYard.
Oh, hang on. Okay, so this isn't the last one he put up?
No, this is his Apple Park.
Yeah, well, he put one up not long ago, another one with Apple Park.
Let's see.
A few days ago.
Let's go to his videos. This new one in the 6K.
Yep, that's the one with the Autel.
All right,
This is what I'm talking about, 129. And I saw it, his thing, and my comment was yes, because he started to film it later in the afternoon when he was starting to get the long shadows and the the beautiful reflections and stuff, and it worked fine. It was bloody beautiful. That 129, a shot on that, I loved it.
Oh! I'm trying to get it to do 2880 right now, 5K. I should.
Oh,
Good luck with that.
Yeah, let me just do the 2160. But it did let him. I didn't think it would let him upload 5K, but it did.
I've seen some people do 5. I don't know what camera they're using. I've never seen a drone. I've seen some studio work of musicians have 5K videos. I haven't seen one come out of a drone. This was my first.
because he would have shot this one in 6K, but it's still 8-bit, isn't it?
Yes. It's BT709 too, so it's regular color, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's
No, it
sRGB.
looks all right. You know what though? In saying everything, and I'm getting into D-Log and 10-bit and all that sort of stuff. Really, when it comes down to it, look at this. There's nothing wrong with it. You'd be pressed to see the difference.
You see that
between what I'm doing.
haze, though? That's what that haze kills me in Florida. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, see,
this is every day in California. You get that haze.
Yeah. See, it depends on your subject matter of whether
I'm back,
the haze
ladies and gentlemen.
is.
Well, we were asking, were you paying attention when you was on the phone? So evidently you were not paying attention.
No, I was actually on the phone trying to handle some business. Sorry.
We saw what you were doing. You were apologizing.
Yeah.
Whatever you did, I saw. I could read a little bit of lips, and you was apologizing.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's pretty clear. The video's pretty clear.
It was
The
something.
video.
Jim, I don't care about your video right now. Like I said, it was something different.
Al's video.
Oh,
This is
I
Al's.
don't care about your video, Al. I'm sorry. Thought it was Jim video.
See, look at the time of day he's doing it. He's starting to get that nice yellow color.
What's
That's
going on,
149.
Corey, man?
Yeah, out here in California, if you catch the sunset type of day, you get some outstanding color contrast all the time.
That's
Northern
right.
California, where Al is at, and where I'm at in Southern California, it's the evening part. When I did the shot in the LA of the USC area campus, you get that we call it the marine layer. It comes in, it's like low clouds, and it almost like a haze that you get from early morning to almost midday, to about almost to 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it burns off. And then after that, you can get that clear downtown shot, and everything that comes down with that sun coming behind you off the ocean, everything looks awesome.
Bloody beautiful.
Did you see the mountains in the far background?
Here we go.
That's what see
This
the
shot
haze
here.
way back there.
This shot here is awesome. See that? Oh, it's gone past it now.
Go back a bit.
Let's go back a bit. No, mate. No, I'm still out.
This is the
Still out.
129 shot you liked.
Yeah, not that one. The next one.
Okay.
This one here. Now, if you just pause that, I mean, the haze adds to that there, right? Because it gives that background there, the silhouette of the mountains and all that sort of stuff.
That's what I say. It gives you a nice background in the mountains. Now, for me, this is why even at this time of day, which I'm assuming is probably around, if we just shot this recently, it had to be anywhere around between 9 and 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, he's shooting at the sun, yeah.
Yeah, he's shooting back at the sun coming up. The sun's
That's the
coming
morning,
up.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the morning shot. And that's what I say between about 9, 10 in the morning. This shot was taken most likely, maybe early as 8. Well, I'm saying this is where even out here in California, you would still use a ND16 filter, probably polarized one, and you get a lot more detail in the forefront of the picture with just a slight little less haze in the back.
Yeah, no, that's.
Let me ask you.
Sorry. Oh.
Have your polarized filters helped you with this haze at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, down here in Southern California, especially where I'm at, we're in a what we call arid climate, which means semi-desert. So you don't get anything that brings colors out. Help. I don't get a lot of green colors like you're up in Northern California where Al is at. So I get a lot of desert browns and different shades of brown from the brush, the ground, and things of that nature. So, like I said, you saw the Cal State one I did of the sunrise. Most of that terrain in there is also just brush with green in the brush, and then the rest is all brown. And even when the sun comes up, it just kind of even brings up more of the brown of the ground. So having an ND filter kind of gives you a little contrast in colors a lot of times, especially the polarized one. I saw a lot of fly with polarized. I don't use a regular straight ND filter. I always have a polarized one.
You see,
That's just living on this area.
That might be my problem. I just shoot with straight ND16, no polarization, because I'm not into turning it and all that crap.
No, I don't have the one that I don't spend that much money. So whatever mine says is it's ND16 polarized. That's what goes on. If it's an 8, it goes on there. I don't get the adjustable ones. We got to sit there and guess. I guess they could be very nice if you really know your ND filter settings. I'm just not that adept to it where I don't want to risk it being in between a 8 and 16, somewhere in between, or go a little too further. Now you're up to about a 24, 32, and everything is dark, you know.
Oh, I don't even go to 32. Even here in Florida, 32 is too much.
Well, like I said, I used a 32 one time as just a test to find out. And like I say, midday in the summer, a 32 works midday. And that was a lot of real estate folks always want you to come out between the hours of 10 and 2, which is pretty much midday. Yep. A 32 will help you in a high, bright sunlight. It'll give you some shadows where you need them.
I'll tell you what it does do. That 32, I remember it really made the sky look good.
Oh yeah, you'll sort of get the blues out of it and separate from what little bit of clouds you may have. If you got some nice clouds, they're gonna come out real nice. Now this shot here, this is a sunset shot from sun behind him, setting in the ocean.
Holy moly! I can't believe for 1 minute that he actually got up early enough for sunrise. That's congratulations, Al. He always said he'd never do it.
Now you can tell, Dre, because of where the sun was coming up over the mountain.
Well, yeah, I know how the California sun is, the topography of the San Jose area, which is what people call the famous Silicon Valley, where Apple headquarters is at. The mountains are going to be to the east, and like I said, the sun's going to be the oceans to the west.
Nice, man. Yeah, I really like that. I really do.
Corey, man, picked up a used Mavic Air 2 with a smart controller. The thing only had 12 flights on it.
There you go. Secondhand all the way.
That's how Matt buys his, man. He loves it.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Got to be. As I said in the past, you got to be fussy. You've got to there's lots of them out there, and you'll pick up a really good drone. Better than refurb, man.
Most of mine are used.
Yeah, especially the Mavic Pros. I mean, oh my God, they're cheap as cheap. For fly more packs and all that sort of shit. But why would you go a new one? Well, refurbed anyway.
You see this, Matt? I just want to show you guys. I'm seeing a lot of buzz about this. The BenQ. The PD is their professional display, and they've got a 2700, which this one here runs at about 1100. They've got a 2700 model that runs for 539. And I was thinking, as a first-time display, I don't want to go too high because of what's coming up right here in the direct future with the 3000 cards coming out from NVIDIA. All the specs going to be going up to HDMI 2.1. There's a lot happening in the next year or so with computers.
This is what I'd be concerned about with getting that monitor for a specific purpose of HDR.
Okay.
Because it mightn't be any good. And if you're going to spend the money, you don't want it to be a waste. And this is where I was at when I was looking at monitors. And it was like I did when I was with my computer. When my old computer wasn't hacking it with the processing and all that sort of shit when it came to rendering off videos and all that sort of crap. Within a week, I was out there. I didn't just buy a computer that maybe do the job. I bought a computer that launches the space shuttle. Now, I know that that's going to do the job. And the same thing comes with that monitor. And it looked like I was going to spend $2.5 grand just on a monitor to get what I wanted out of HDR, because I didn't want to spend any less. I didn't want a monitor that maybe would do it.
Right.
I didn't want a monitor, you know, I didn't want a monitor. It might be okay. That might be okay. But I certainly wasn't going to waste any money on a monitor that was a maybe. You know, I was going to buy something that was designed for the job. And unfortunately, you've got to pay good money for that.
Hey, Jim, I got that USC video up. You want to share it so you guys can see the haze in that one and different angles.
Yeah, I just want to show you something first that's driving me insane.
Go right ahead.
This tray is the VESA Display HDR Certified site, and they recommend some. You see, it's certified for 1,000 nits, 600 nits, and so on, right?
Right.
And right now, for what we're seeing, what you and I just saw, we're probably talking about HDR 400. We don't want to be spending the money on these better monitors because it ain't going to help what Dre is seeing on his monitor. If I color to that HDR 1000, you're not going to see it, is what I'm saying.
This is right, you know, and I mean, all these monitors these people use are for more than likely specific customers that require it, and they'll be watching on things that will be able to project the image that you've just rendered. And this is what Mitch was talking about earlier, and I was talking to you about it I don't know, a week or so ago, Jim, about the fact that when it's color graded, when it's done everything, it's going to go into the cinema on the same projector, the same screen. It's going to look the same everywhere. When you're dealing with so many different formats of watching videos on YouTube, it becomes a redundant thing to be actually putting time into, other than a personal experience and personal gain for what you want.
Right. I figure if I start on it today, in a year from now, I'm going to know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess
unlikely.
Downstairs, it's going to be a COVID unit.
What's going on, Ron?
I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
He's in flight right now on the job.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He was in flight on the. He just dropped out. There he is. He just came back.
You gotta be the nurses more.
Must be flying over a mobile tower.
You just gotta make it worth their while. You know, same as Sam from Fargo.
Who's talking?
Somebody in his background.
You know?
Right? It's not me.
I think. That's not from the video you're showing, is it?
Well, he cut his mic.
Now you see right there, Jim,
okay.
Jim and Mitch, that's downtown LA about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Is that
that is the haze, the marine layer. I say about 10 o'clock in the morning. I know more than about maybe 3 miles from downtown. And this is what you'll see across California, consistently from San Francisco area down to LA. San Diego gets a little better, clear air down there, but this is the marine layer they talk about we get in the mornings, year round. It's actually better in the winter. The winter, we don't get as much as this, but this is standard. Look right here.
Man, I remember in 1980, I was up in, not Frisco, I was north of there, stuck on the I-5 in snow, looking down at LA, and the smog ring around the city. It was an incredible experience for a New Yorker at the time, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, being stuck in snow and seeing the heat down below and you can't get there, you know, it was wild.
Yeah, coming down the Grapevine. If you're on the I-5, you're coming at the Grapevine.
Ron's definitely flying. What's going on, Ron? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. I just popped in a minute just to say hi. We just got back from my late flight and just wanted to say hello to everybody.
On your way back to
Hey, Ron, take care.
Yeah, we're on our way back to the airport. Just took our last patient. I am off 1 minute ago, but maybe a little overtime tonight. So, but then I'm heading home. I don't know if I'll head home tonight or early tomorrow morning. Then I got to head to Wyoming. So I'll be guiding for the next 8 days.
Oh,
Just popped in to say hi.
appreciate
Good
it.
on you. Good on you, Ron.
Good on you, mate. You wanker. Now go to sleep.
Hey, I didn't want to bother you on Messenger or anything for obvious reasons.
Jim, I was talking, Jim. Don't be rude.
I am talking
What?
about.
Why
Give 'em
does
hell.
my
No, that's all right. It just we've been so busy. This is probably one of the busiest weeks I've ever had since I worked here. Almost, it's crazy. But,
holy shit, man? My phone is hot to touch. I could fry an egg on this. You kidding me? Sorry, I just got a warning. Device is overheating. I mean, it's in a. Oh man, I got to put that
Turn
front
your
of the
AC
aircon.
on. Yeah, yeah.
Does it ever snow anywhere in Australia?
Yeah, man.
Where?
All through
Where?
Victoria, New South Wales.
Oh
in
God,
the Blue
I never see.
Mountains,
I never see pictures of snow in Australia. All I see is heat.
Yep, it overheated.
yeah, it did. Huh. Well, anyhow, guys, we're pulling back into the aircraft, so I'd say hi real quick.
All right, Ron, take care and be safe out there.
All right, Ron. See you later, man.
Don't know when I'll see or talk to you guys next, but everybody have a good week, and we'll catch up to you sometime.
All righty.
Take care. Bye.
He looks thrilled, huh?
Yeah. All right. I'm about, gentlemen. I appreciate the conversation as always. All you guys in the chat, take care. Be safe. Take care of your families. Talk to you guys next week, if not sooner.
Hopefully, I'll be able to see you tomorrow, buddy.
All right. I'll try to make it. My golf season's over with, so I'm home on Wednesday nights now.
All right. See you later, man.
All right.
Thanks, Drake.
Cheers, Joe. Anyway, sorry, I was just answering him, and my phone overheated and closed 5 apps.
Matt.
Yeah, man.
Stop with the bullshit. We get it. Okay. All right. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, just sick of it. I've got to say good day to everyone in the chat too, because I haven't seen the chat the whole time. So good day, everyone. If I've missed anything,
They don't care about you. Ain't nobody even mentioned you.
they do. Well, they do, mate. They do. They've been sending me private messages all the time.
Nobody. Am I lying, Jim? Nobody said nothing about Matt. Nobody. And Jim, not making it up. Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, if I watch this replay in a couple of days' time and the chat's up there, and I'm mentioned once, I'm coming in your place, mate, with a cold pizza.
A cold
A cold pizza and 2 bottles of Gatorade.
And I'm gonna make you only eat it in front of me. Chew.
Look, Jim.
I think there's a lot of guys watching the political crap right now because there's only 7 people here.
I know, right?
Hey, 7.
Yeah. There's normally
Who's that? I can't even read that. Who said hello, Matt? Who's that? I can't even read it.
Oh shit! That's Mike trying to be funny. Timeless Truth talking about hello, Matt. Agent K said the same thing. What a suck up! Don't be sucking up to Matt. Come on, guys. Damn.
There you go. Timeless truth. Michael, I haven't seen Michael for a long time. How you been, mate? Agent Kate, there you go. Beautiful. G'day. Jeez, see Adrian? See? Cold pizza coming your way, buddy.
What about your suck up?
Imagine if you did that. You know how cold that pizza would be, man?
Shocking. Might even have a little bit of mold on top by the time I get there.
Right.
Pretty much.
Badass pizza.
Yeah, just go up to the flight attendant. Can you chuck this in your fridge for a while, please? I don't want him to get sick.
Let me ask you something, Matt. How dumbed down do you think I should be color rendering for?
See, this is the thing. It doesn't matter how much you dumb it down. It all depends on what the your color profile is on your render. You could dumb that thing down to almost black and white, but if your color profile's incorrect on your render, it'll blow it out. You know, when you first do your settings?
Yeah, but I'm doing it to what YouTube says. For those
Yeah, I know.
upload settings.
It's a never-ending conundrum of questions with no freaking answers. It just becomes a freaking nightmare.
I mean, I'm doing the EOTF at 2100. I'm doing the color at 2020, like it's telling me right here.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah, and it came out like crap.
Yeah, nothing makes sense, mate. Yeah. Although, you know, when it comes down to it, why isn't Al continuing with HDR?
See,
unless
I would love for Al to be here so he can actually tell you why.
Yeah, he's got the Apple system, and he said it does pretty good. I mean, for him, it's pretty easy to use.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we got the settings to do it and all that sort of crap. It just doesn't want to render off. Oh, that's better. Fucking hell, I'll tell you, that phone was piping hot, dude. I could have cooked me lunch on that.
How you doing, Andrew?
No, Andrew, it wasn't corrupted, but I did it to what YouTube tells us to right here on this page. See, what color primary was 2020. That transfer PQ is, like it tells me, right here, 21 Rec 2100. And let me show you this latest one that I have it under unlisted. My God, man, it's terrible. But what we're talking about is when we get down, look at this. Look at this shit. That's HDR. And it looked fine on the damn monitor. I don't get it.
Yeah, man. No, that's shocking.
So, I mean, it even says SMTP 2084 PQ. Look how blown out everything is blown out on this one. Way worse than the other video.
That's all the gamma, mate. That's all the gamma settings. It's an incorrect gamma profile, which isn't displaying when you're rendering. Until you've rendered, it renders out at that gamma profile, and you can't see that gamma profile until it's rendered.
What the hell should I do?
Do what I did, mate.
Stop doing
D-Log, 10-bit. My videos come out all right now, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but come on, man. Maybe it's a codec.
It annoyed the crap out of me for quite some time, mate. Really did, and I went intensive looking into how we can do this stuff.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm going nuts.
And the more questions that are answered, the more questions arise, and it just became a freaking nightmare, mate. So I just thought,
I do have a question for you, Jim.
Yeah, bro.
I was almost at 1,700 subs. Now it went down to like 1,670, something like that. And I think I remember seeing your numbers. It was at 2,400, but now it's down to 21, like 2,001, 100 and something. What the hell is going on?
YouTube. What? No, YouTube does it.
Yeah, because a Jim channel was like a 2,400, almost 2,500. Now it's 2,100. Mine is almost 1,700. Now it's down to 1,670, something like that. What the hell is going on?
That's a lot to lose. That's a hell of a lot, especially Jim's with there's 300, 300 odd subs gone there.
If you look at it, you can change that when you're looking at your analytics from, instead of looking at the 28-day period, you can look at a 365-day period. I've lost at least 400 people in that amount of time. You gain and you lose at the same time. I don't know how they decide who to take away from you. I don't think anybody's figured that out yet.
Like if they did that to me, I'd end up with 300 subs.
I'm telling you. But anyway, Matt, if I, like I was saying, even if I get the cheapest one of these recommended HDR displays, like HDR 400, you know, let's take one and see what the price would be.
But as I said, HDR, that does not cover the base of the darks. It doesn't fall into the dark specs.
Yeah, these are certified displays, but it's certified for 400 lumens.
Exactly. Now, the minimum of those dark displays on lumens was about 550.
Okay, so then you're talking about going with a display with a minimum of HDR 600.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
All right, now let's see what that price is. No, that is, they don't even tell you.
You're embarrassed.
I don't even need all this gaming crap. Why isn't
See,
it
this is the thing. See, this is the thing. When they're advertising it as a gaming computer, a gaming monitor, sorry, it's not what you want.
No, it has
It's not what you
G-Sync.
want.
Yeah, I don't need G-Sync. That's what a gaming computer is.
Yeah,
It's in sync with the game, so you don't get that tearing and all that shit. But it's got 90% of display? Yeah, right there. DCI-P3, 98% color coverage.
What are you looking at, about 160 hertz on that? 160? 140? 140, okay.
I don't even need that.
No, 60's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. When you get into, so all of these down below are HDR 1000, which I'm not going to buy because nobody's near there with their home TVs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, g'day. Yeah. No, I'm just on a video call.
Oh, okay. Because you've left your lights on at the front.
Oh, they come on. They're on automatically. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, Matt.
Was she good looking?
Hey, Matt.
No. Damn.
Mate. Turn the camera. Let me look at that thing. Turn the camera. Let me see it.
You know what? I don't know if I can turn the camera on this.
Turn no damn camera. Let me see that lady, you wanker.
You're shocking when it comes to chicks. I swear to God, you are. You almost had a conniption when I didn't put the chicks on live on the big screen there when Ron was at Sturgis, yelling and screaming. Oh! Unreal. I don't think I can't turn this camera around.
Hey, Matt. Rick Harper say hey. How you doing?
Hey, Rick. How are you, buddy? Camera and mic. Let's have a look at that. Camera, yes.
That's not what I wanted.
Camera, you know what, Matt? Never mind. Don't worry about it no more. I don't want you to get an aneurysm trying to figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Shut up.
Oh, you wanker. Now, where is she?
She's gone.
She's long gone now.
She thought you broke down. That's what it was. She was being nice.
She was. I'm actually parked out front of her house. She got a bit worried. Look at this sky I'm dealing with today, boys.
Is that cloudy? Like it's going to rain?
Oh, yeah, mate. She's cloudy. Lighting today is shocking. What a waste of time.
This one has a peak luminance of 400. That
peak luminance of 400.
And none of them are what you call reasonable in price. Yeah, this is $1,300 for 98% DCI coverage. But it is VESA 600. So that means you can color correctly anything up to 600 lumens, and everybody should see it the same way. which is not exactly happening when you're watching videos like this right there. And I'm telling you, this was all colored at around 750 on the brightness scale.
I swear to God, these colors just look like some kind of cartoon or something like that.
It's terrible, Adrian. It's very frustrating to get the specs right so that when YouTube is done with it, you're going to see it correctly. Because trust me when I say this looked fine in DaVinci Resolve. How'd you get thrown out?
I don't know. Don't know what happened there. Anyway, I'm back again.
Hey, I actually thought the lady hijacked him, Jim.
I was waiting for Ron to come on earlier because now they're trying to push this jumpsuit for paramedics.
Really?
Yeah. Any way they can to sell it, they're trying to sell it.
They're all cashing in on this shit, man.
They're trying hard.
It's unreal. Unbelievable.
In mountainous terrain, you should buy our $10,000 suit. I'm sure it's more than that.
Will save your life. Or has it got food and water in it? No. Well, how's it going to save my life?
It carries a life pack AED, automated defibrillator. They think an automated defibrillator is going to save your life. Okay. What if you got underlying conditions? You got to be carrying the medications to give to the patient too. But they don't understand that. Nor do they care. They're trying to sell you a flying unit, damn it. Shut up, Jim.
Yeah. Stop being so logical, Jim. No.
I don't mind if it is an older model, Andrew, because, the way things are going to change when those 3070 cards come into computers. Rick saying, how you doing, Matt? Rick Albert. He got his cast off, by the way, yesterday.
He did. Yeah, Monday, yeah. Yeah, he's ready to rock and roll again. 10-pin bowling before you know it.
That was another video I tried just before we went on air, Matt and Andrew. I tried to color grade it to the 750 level and quick get it up. Just I wanted to see how it would look. And if you just saw it looks like crap.
It does.
I don't know how to do it to the levels that you guys are going to see it at.
Yeah, I know.
It's more and more confusing with everybody having different strength displays. But yours is better than mine, which is better than this cheap computer laptop screen. I don't even know what the CD is on this. The Candela on this damn laptop screen would be 100 to 300, maybe. Something really low.
Probably is, actually. Probably get more out of an iPad.
Jimbo.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you for having me in, boss man. I'm about to go ahead and hit the bed.
Yeah, it's 10:20 p.m. We'll cash out.
Has been a good stream. Sorry, man. My baby.
Hang on for a second, Matt. All right, guys. We're going to end the stream. Thank you for coming.
Guys, everybody in the chat, see you later.
See you, Adrian.
Yeah, we'll see you guys